Hello guys, first of all I welcome you all to this project building session in which we try to leverage the Power BI to build one project for underlying problem statement we have. So what is this project is all about, right? So as we all know that we are utilizing the mobile phones or mobile devices in regular basis, and once we utilizing those product we will generate some footprints, and these footprints are important for any businesses so that they can get to know their customers and design the product or design the marketing strategy around them. Okay, so one such a data set we have right now, and the title of the project is goes like user device behavior analysis, in which we try to get the understanding of the users and their behaving pattern with respect to the mobile phones they are using or device they are utilizing. So if I just talk about what are the final product we wanted to build, so something like this kind of report we're trying to achieve, right? So this is something like a KBIs we have, some slicers we have, some of the charts we have, some filters we have, and this is something like a final product book would look like. So let's get started, but before we start building anything, let's just get a full understanding of context we have, and then we will build the project. Okay, so if I talk about the project description, right, understanding how user will interact with their devices is crucial for improving user experience and optimizing app performance. This report provides insight into user behavior patterns such as app uses, battery optimizations, and data uses, segmented by device type, operating system, age, and gender. It also categorizes user into behavioral class, helping to identify heavy or light users, which can guide product development and marketing strategies. So this is the small description we have with respect to the project. And what is the importance of that project, right? This analysis helps us companies to understand which devices and operating system are more efficient or popular, allowing them to optimize their apps accordingly. It also aids in identifying user behavior trends, providing valuable data for targeted marketing, product innovations, and improving customer satisfactions. So this is the importance of project. And if I just talk about the stakeholders we have, stakeholders are the people who are interested in our analysis, or those are in the decision making process, so those who can take the data driven decisions. So in this case we have a variety of stakeholders are there, something like a product managers can be involved, marketing team can be involved, app developers, data analysts, customer experience teams. Those are our stakeholders we have right now with respect to this project is concerned, right? Then this is something like a project initialization we have, right? So objective should be the clear. The goal of this Power BI report is to analyze the user behavior, as we already discussed, based on the device uses, battery consumption, data uses, and some other categories of classes, right? Again, let's just talk about the main thing in the whole data analytics, something like a data, right? So what is the data is all about? So what are the features are there, right? So these are the this is the feature description we have. We will look into the data directly into the Power Query editor. Let's just get an overall understanding, overall theoretical understanding first. So first feature we have, which is called user ID, a unique identifier for each of the user. Then we have a device model is there, the model of the user device. Then we have operating systems are there, whether it is an Android or iOS. Then we have some numerical data. Some numerical data is there, something like app uses time, minutes per day, right? How many times the user will spend time on the app, how many times their screens are on in hours per day, the battery drainage, milliampere hour per day. Then we have a number of app install, how many apps they user install in their systems, or we can say mobile phone. Device uses, data uses, right? And data uses are also available. Then we have a age of the user, gender of the user, and behavioral class, which ranges from 1 to 5. We will look into that. So let's just get towards something respect to building a project we have. And as we all know that there is a project lifecycle we have into the Power BI, in which we will first get the data from the different sources, then we will clean those data, right? And then we will just load the data into Power BI front end and make some analytical stuff, building some visualization to show some insight, and then publish it. This is the whole life cycle of Power BI. Let's just start this life cycle by getting the data into the Power BI and performing some ETL process. So let's just try to get it. This is the interface I have with respect to the Power BI. Let's just create one blank report. before doing any project, right? So we will have to set up an environment. Let's just first set up an environment. Let's just go into the file, options and setting, options, right? So again it will take some time to pop up. Okay, great. So data load, I don't want to be the auto generated data and time, and also do not detect any relationship, although we don't have any modeling stuff in this project, but we will do that in the coming project. Okay, then the regional setting, I just wanted it to be the English United States because the data is coming from that side, so it should be the good to always tune the thing according to the data set we have, right? Again, great. So let me just click OK. These are the settings which are required. Again, we'll just apply those changes. Let's just apply those changes right now. Great. Again, let's just save this file so that we won't lose our whatever we are doing right now. So save as, and then we can just choose the location. Let's just put it into one directory so that we have to be in the same path, and I have that created already, and it's a user behavior analysis. So user behavior analysis, right? And let's just click save. The file is saved right now. Okay, so the initial environment is set up. Let's just get the data from the connector using the text and CSV because it's a text and CSV file. So text and CSV, let's just load the data, right? Let's just load the data into the system. Again, once you connect with the data sources, some initial window will be pop up where we wanted to find out some high level information of file origin, delimiter which separates our data, and data type detection. Let me just take a data type detection to something like entire data set, so that yes, this is the high level preview of the data we have. And again, we will get the two options of load and transform. So we will click on the transform to open the Power Query editor because I have to do some transformation. Okay, so the Power Query editor is there, and as we all know that Power Query editor is something like ETL tool we have. So the first step is to change the query name. Let me just take understandable query name. Okay, so user behavior data is appropriate name for this data. Okay, next thing is that to do some profiling of our data so that we will identify the inconsistency in the data we have. So in order to do that, let me just enable the column quality, column profile tool, data profile tool, and then just change the setting from top 1000 rows to entire data sets. Okay, these are the setting I wanted to do. Let me just go ahead and try to check the data type of each and every column. So user ID has a data type whole number, which is good thing. Then we have a device model is there, operating system, data, app uses, data uses. Okay, all those things are fairly good, and all this data are well in shape and don't have any null values and duplicate values as well, as far as the initial profiling is concerned. Okay, but the thing is that right now if we are seeing something like let's say this one, app uses time, right? It's a minutes per day, right? And all the other attributes are measure hour per day, right? Milliampere hour or hour per day. So we have to convert this thing into the hour so that we have a consistent analysis. So let me just convert this thing into the hour per day. Select the column, go into the transform, and in that we will have a standard option is there. Some number column options are there. In the standard, we have to divide this thing by 60. By 60, I wanted to divide this thing and click OK. Okay, so this is converted into the hours per day, but in order to just in line with the other data we have, we will just round these things. Again, select the data, rounding, and round to nearest one integers, right? Round nearest one. Let me just click OK, and the data is in the good shape right now. So again, if I just talk about the other thing shaping the data, I need to add another column. So user behavior class is there, but the data type is something like a whole number we have, and there is 1 to 5 assigned to them, right? So we have to convert this thing into the more understandable things, right? More understandable categorical data. So we will do one thing is that here we will do a brainstorming, and we will come up with something like this one. So I have already wrote down this point. So we already converted these things right now. So we have to convert the user categories into something like a more meaningful name. So if I have a category 1, then we have occasional users are there, light users something like 2, right? And so on and so forth. Let's just try to do that. And how can we do that? We can just add the conditional column. So let's just go into the add column, and conditional column we have. Okay, so the column name, so what are the column name? Let me just take this thing, a user behavior category. Okay, so first column name, let me just choose the column name as a user behavior class equals to, if it is one, then it is a occasional user, right? It is a occasional user. Let me just copy those things directly from here. This is the occasional user we have. Again, let's just add another thing, user behavior class. If it is a 2, right, then it is something like a, then it is something like a light user. Okay, again I just have another condition. If user behavior is something like 3, right, then it is something like we have a moderate user. Okay, again let me just take another condition. If it is 4, okay, if it is 4, then it is something like we have a heavy user. Okay, and if none of the condition is matched, then it is a power user. Okay, this is how we can just create additional columns. Okay, we have to tune the data type as well, right? So let's just go here and change the data type to something like text, right? So it is a textual data type. Again we have to change the name of the already created things. So we have modified the app uses, which is not per minute, it is a hour. Let me just change this thing to hours. Okay, great. So these are the transformation I need, right? This is the shaping transformation, and we have done with the transformation phase. So extraction phase is there, where we will extract the data by using the text and CSV connectors. Then we have transformed that data using the Power Query editor tools. So it depends upon the dataset. If the dataset is not that clean, then you will need much more transformation, and we can utilize much more options to get the data into the well form. So let's just try to load the data which is in the good form, whatever the transformations I have required, which is done already. Then load the Power BI front end, all those data into the Power BI front end we have. So let me just go here. Okay, so all this data is loaded into the Power BI front end right now. Okay, so almost 700 records are there right now, and this is the data I have. Again, let's just move towards something like a modeling phase. Second step is the modeling. So right now I don't have any modeling stage in this project, but we will do that in the coming project right now. So right now what I'm trying to do here is that I wanted to just hide those class column from appearing into the report. Okay, so I don't need that because I have already created the other column with the similar name, right? Yes, this is the thing we have to do right now. Let me just take this thing into the report view. Okay, these are the columns we have right now with me. Okay, let me just do one thing right now. Okay, so we have to generate some KPIs. So we have to identify some KPIs in order to make a better understanding of our data, right? So what are the KPI we need? So we will need some KPIs like average user age, screen time, average screen time, and data usage. So those are the KPI we wanted to track, right? For that purpose, we have to create the measure. So before creating anything, right, let's just create a dedicated measure table, right? Let me just create a dedicated measure table. Let me just assign them a measures. It's a dummy table only. Let me just load this thing into the Power BI front end. Okay, so dummy table is there, guys. Like, let me just try to add one measure. First measure I have, right, which measures the average age of the user, right, which is crucial factor when it comes to analyzing the data, right? So average user age, right, and we can just take average of age column we have, right, and let's just freeze those calculation. Okay, the first measure is created. Right now I don't require this column 1, which is a dummy column I have. Let me just delete from the data model. Okay, once you do that, we will get the dedicated measure table, right? Let's just create another measure, right, which gauges the average screen time, right, average screen time, average screen time of user, right? So average function is there, average dash function is there, and we have a screen time, right? There is one column is there which is hour per day. Okay, let me just do one thing, let me just make it more clear, which is called hour per day. Okay, so let me just take another KPI measure, let me just take another measure we have right now in the process of finding the insights, which is something like average data use, right? And which is in the megabytes per day, right? And let me just take an average function again, and we have a data is there, I guess. Let me just check the options we have for that. So I guess it is the data uses. Okay, data uses is there. Let me just take this one. Data uses, great, MB per day. So these are the 3 KPIs we have, right, in order to do the analysis. Let me add one additional column, right? Let me just add one additional column which gauge the percentage of time spent on mobile phones or apps, right? So for that I have to create one column which is called percent time spent on app. So we have a 2 attributes already there, right? We have a 2 attributes are there already, which is called something like app uses time and screen on time. So if you just divide those stuff, I am getting the average time spent on the something like percentage time spent on any of the app. Let me just create a new table right now. Okay, let me just make it. Okay, I guess it is a new creating new table. No, I don't require new table, I require new column right now. Okay, so let me just go here into the table view. Let me just select the column, and I am getting some new column options here. New column, yeah. So let's just try to add those things here directly. So let me just copy paste those things. Percentage time on app. Okay, so we can utilize the divide function here. Numerator is something like app uses time, right? So I have that directly, app uses time hour per day, and something like screen time we have, right? Screen time we have. And if you find any difficulty making those calculations, then you can directly take the blank and let's just freeze those calculations. Okay, right now I make it this into the percentages, so let's just take it into the percentage and to the 1 decimal place only. Okay, so these are the percentages of time spent on the app. Okay, and if you just closely looking at the stuff, there are some of the things which is way above the percentage values we have, right? So way above the percentage values. So something like 101 is there, right? So how come it will be the greater than 100%, right? How come it will be the greater than 100%? So sometimes some of the apps were running in the background, like some of the apps which is something like music app we have, right? The music app which runs in the background when the screen is off. So maybe those are the cases where we have that things are there. Let's just try to do one thing. Okay, so these are the things we have with respect to where percentage is greater than 100%, right? 100% we have. So all the environment is set up, guys, right? All the environment is set up right now. So let me just try to build the project directly so that we will create some insights. Okay, so let me just get insert and let me just insert some quick shapes right now. Okay, great. So this is the shape. Go into the formatting option, directly go here, and I want the height to be the 720, right? And I want some let me just take 710. Okay, and again width is something with respect to the 20 I want. I guess 20 is less. Let me just take a 50. Okay, let me just make it something like 100. Okay, great. So 100 is good. Let me just do some padding, right? Let me just do padding of 5 pixel for each of the size, each of the positions. Great. And let me just bring those here right now. Okay, let me just do one thing. I want this to be a corner rounded to 0 pixel. Okay, let me just make it a rounded top corners to something like 10, right? We will go with the 10% roundness. And again I want to do some rotate this thing, so that I guess, let me just rotate to 90, right? I'll get those rounded corner on the right hand side. Again, I don't want it to be filled, right? Let me just don't want this to be filled. Border, okay, so border I'll just take something like 40% lighter blue color, right? And transparency is 0 good, and width is something like a 2 pixel. So these are the transformation I wanted to do, right? Again, let's just do one thing here. Let me just add the shapes to hold some KPIs quickly. So let's just get another shape here, okay, and in that shape let me just quickly adjust the another thing, right? So let me just give some time. So height is something like 150 I have, width is something like 300 I want. Okay, again those are the good. Padding, I do want padding like 5 pixel each. 5 pixel each padding I want for each of the corner. Great. So this is the padding I want, and don't require another stuff. Again, don't fill, right? Border I want, do I border I want, and border is something like a 40%, we can say, lighter color, and width is something like a 2. Great. Roundness I wanted to check. Okay, so the roundness we have to just check the roundness as well. So roundness should be the 10. Okay, so these are the all things I need. Again, do one thing. Okay, so these are the options we require, and let's just do one thing. Let me just make it here on the this side, and let me just copy those stuff and put it here, so that I get those 3 cards directly. Okay, so these are the 3 cards which holds some KPIs right now. Okay, hold some KPIs. So those are all setups, and then we will do the cosmetic stuff at the end of the session directly, so that you will get to know how we can do it in the shortcut way. Let's just add some card directly. Let me just go here into the home, right? And in the home I just wanted to add some card, and in that card let me just have some measure is there, right? So already we have a measure is there, which is average time. Okay, great. And let me just do one thing. I want something to be there, so I do not want, I want the title, right? Let me just add the title as average user age, right? Average user age is there, and make it a normal, right? Heading is normal right now. Font I can just use the Vardhana, okay, and make it 12, 10 or 12. We can just take the 12 right now. Okay, make it bold. Text color should be the white, and background should be the black. Contrasting color we will need, and make it the center. Okay, so this is the title I want. So if I have a title, then I don't require the category labels. Make it a more adjustable, right? And we can just replicate this thing 3 times. Okay, 3 cards are required. Let me just put those things side by side, and in this case right now, right, in this case let me just put the another measure, something we have with respect to the average screen time. Okay, this is the average screen time, and let me just quickly go through the title. We have average screen time, average user screen time, average screen time, right? Average screen time is there. Okay, good. And again, some of the last KPIs we have. Let me just go into the build pane, remove those things, and add the another stuff, average data uses. Okay, let me just do one thing here quickly. Just change the title, average data uses. Average data use. Okay, let me just do one thing. Let me make it small, and so that we can place those things into directly into the card we have created. and okay, great. For this as well, mail will mix those things. Great. And again last, okay, these are the cards we have, and these are the higher level KPIs. Again, I wanted to make something with respect to that. I guess it is okay. If you do wanted to make some formatting with respect to the numbers we have, we will do that, but right now it looks good. Okay, as soon as we move forward, then we will do all those kind of stuff. So I have a four we can say visualizations are there. We can just make those visualization right now here. Let me just insert the shape, so make it more attractive. Okay, let me just go here right now and into the formatting pane in the shape and style. Height I required, right? Height I can just say okay. So 560 is good. Width I am just taking width to something like 500. I can just check 500 is okay or not. Just make it to 700. Okay, make it to 600 directly. I want it to be in the middle. Okay, and I have some space for the other visualizations too. Yeah, good. So these many space is enough for the one visualizations, I guess. And again, some formatting I do require, padding I do require, padding of 5 pixel on the both side, on all the sides we required, right? And then I don't want the something like fill. Okay, I don't want the fill. Okay, the rounded corner should be very rounded. Let me just take it to something like 10, right? Great. So in this, let me just take a cluster column chart, right? And that cluster column chart, I wanted to analyze something. Let me just take a one cluster column chart, and in that cluster column chart, I wanted to analyze for each of the edges how many screen times are there. So but the problem with this kind of analysis is that the edge column is a continuous data, so we cannot utilize just like an categorical data. So how can I do that, right? So select the edge column and we have to create the bean out of it. So what is meant by bean? Something like a group, right? The bean of number 1 to 10, then 11 to 20, 21 to 30. So these are the groups we have in which we just assign the stuff. So we will create the edge bin right now. So just to create the edge bin, select the edge column we have. Then in the ribbon, we can see the column tools are there, and in which we have a data groups are there. In that data groups, we have to create a new groups, right? And we have a edge groups are there, automatically snaps all of the things, size of the bins or number of bins I want. So if I just take the number of bins and just assign something like a 10 bin I want. So bin size is 4.1, something like that. Let's just go with the 10 bins count. Okay, so let's just click OK, right? So this is we have with respect to the 10 bins, and one new we can say column is created, edge bin, and we can utilize those things. So in the X, I need those edge bin newly created columns, right? In the Y, I need the screen time, because screen time is a crucial factor we have, so that we can do the pop-up kind of things with respect to the user. Where is the screen time? Okay, I have a screen time is there. So here you can see the visual start building the stuff. Legend, I do need to add some additional detail with respect to it, with respect to the gender we have. Great. Okay, I guess it is fairly enough for me. Let me just try to add those things into the shape which I have already created. Okay, great. And I wanted to tune these things again so that I am able to analyze the thing. Okay, let me just quickly go towards the formatting options, and let's just fix the title first. So title is something like screen time by gender, and we can say age, right? Age group. So this is the title I have, and let me just fix to something like a normal, right, and make it font to something like Vardhana. So we are consistent with respect to the fonts we are using. Let me make it 12, make it bold, and text color should be the white and the background color should be the black I want, and make it center. Okay, great. Again, we will do lot many cosmetics in the coming things, right? Let me just not require the legend right now. If I just go into the another stuff, right, let me just go into the x and y axis thing. So in the x axis I don't require those age title. Okay, in the y axis similar, right, in the y axis similar thing I wanted to do, don't require this title, and we are good to go. Okay, one last thing, I do need required a reference line, and I want the reference line, okay, not reference line, I required a trend line, right, and the trend line, these are the trend line things are there. And okay, one thing we can do here is that we can add a reference line directly, and we can add this something like type should be the average, so it is more interpretable in nature, and make it white. So right now it is not making sense to make the line white, but you will get the idea, right? So transparency something like 0, and I want something like dash width I want, and make it 5 pixel. Okay, I do need in the front. Okay, also I need the data labels, and the data label should be something like in white in color. Okay, and unit is something like auto, we will go with the auto, and okay, these many things I wanted to do. Okay, so position should be the right side. Okay, so let me just take it in the right side so that it is more analyzable, right? These are the transformation I wanted to perform with respect to the this chart we have, and we will do other kind of transformation in the coming thing. Let me just do here, go here, and let me just copy those thing and control V again, and let me just bring those thing here directly, so that I don't wanted to perform these things again and again. Great. So in this case I just wanted to make a ribbon chart, right? The ribbon chart should be the analyzing some other things, right? Let's just go here and add the ribbon chart, what I wanted to analyze, right? So I wanted to analyze, let me just make the fix into the shape I have. Okay, great. So in the x-axis, let's just take any categorical field. Let me just take a user behavior category. In the y-axis, let's just take a we can say app usage time, right? It's a crucial factor we have. Then in the legend, let me just take a gender, so that for each of the gender how much things are going on. Okay, these are the things we have. Okay, let me just do quick formatting here. Title I do want, but title, let me just fix those title directly, right? So I wanted to know what I'm trying to utilize this thing. So app use by gender and category. Great. So this is the title I have. Let's just go with the normal we have. Make it a consistent form of Vardhana and make it 12. Again, same kind of stuffs. Quickly, let me just go through quickly to do that. Text color should be something like white, and the background color should be the black. Great, and let me just make it center. Okay, and I do not require the legend right now. Let me just take legend out of it, and x and y axis I do not need the labels. Okay, let me just turn off the labels directly. Okay, title I do require, no, not required. In the x-axis, title I don't require. I'm not sure why it is not happening. Okay, great. Again, y-axis, title not required. Okay, again let's just go with the legend, which is already off. Ribbon, okay, I do require ribbon, and color we will fix later. Okay, again then we will just add the data label, I guess, and in the data label, okay, I don't require data label, I require a total label directly, so that it will be more convenient for me to analyze. Clear? Okay, those are the things. I guess in the x-axis we do require not required. Okay, great. Great. So these are the stuff I wanted to do. Let me just go ahead and try to bring some other thing, right? Let's just do one thing. Let me just Control C, Control V so that I can get the shape and don't want to do the formatting again and again. Okay, and I guess this much space is enough for this chart. Okay, and I guess it is okay, and make it okay. I have to make some pie chart here, right? So pie chart I need, so donut we will take instead of pie, so which is more convenient. And let's just adjust this thing. Okay, legend I want. So what I want that thing, let me just go here right now, and here you can see something like a donut chart. User screen time by company, detail by gender, right? So what I wanted to measure the user screen time, which is a continuous value by company. So company may be something like this one, right? So company means what? So this one I have that attribute on device, right? Legend we will need the device. Values I need a screen time, right? Detail I want with respect to the gender, right? Yes, so these are the things. So we will quickly fix those things, right? We will quickly fix first of all title, right? Title I wanted to fix first. So title should be the screen time by device and gender, right? Let me fix the stuff again. Normal heading and what then and make it 12, make it bold. Text color should be the white, background should be the black, same thing guys. Okay, and make it center. Okay, again I do not require the legend at all, right? We will fix those things in the detail label. Okay, I need to be the, first of all I need only the percentage of total. Great. And I want it to be the insights, okay, values, and in the background which is off, I don't require the background at all. And I guess it is, let me just make it 0 to make it more analyzable. Okay, great. So this is the thing, this is the final stuff we required. Okay, so this is how we can just make those analysis clearer. I wanted to make final visualizations. Let me just copy paste the outer border and those stuff we have inside it, right? And let me just add something here. So I need a multi-row card, right? So multi-row card should be there. And what I wanted to analyze with respect to the multi-row card, so I wanted to utilize few stuff here, right? So let me just go here right now. Okay, great. And what I wanted to analyze, okay, so for each of the operating system, right, each of the operating system I wanted to gauge the few attributes. So how much batteries are draining, first of all. Okay, so how much batteries are draining, and let me just make it average so that I gauge the understanding of it, average. And again this is the implicit measure we have. Okay, and last is something like number of app installed. So app installed, I have that in my data, right? Okay, so number of app installed, and make it something like an average again. Okay, so let's quickly fix those things right now again into the formatting pane, right? Category label, I don't require the category label at all. Okay, so interactivity should be there. And yeah, so that's the stuff. Again I do require a title, right? So I need a higher level information. Okay, so what I wanted to do the title with respect to it, so OS versus battery and total apps and total apps. Great. Again same thumb, let me just take this one, same thing we have to do. Same font family, make it a weights this, and again going with respect to the themes we are trying to build here. Okay, I guess this is enough for the basic, we can say, cosmetic stuff. Okay, again, so almost we are completed the things right now, but I wanted to make a thing more clearer, right? More clearer. For that purpose, let me just add some slicers here to get an interactivity from the user, right? So let me just do one thing, let me just add some slicer. So I have a slicer visualization is there. The first slicers here is for selecting the gender of a person. For each of the gender, how much things are and how the things are going on, right? Let me just make those things clearer here, and let me just add the gender field directly. So this is the gender field. Again, let me just quickly format the stuff and add the slicer setting to the something like tiles. Okay, great. Okay, and make it more appropriate. I don't require the header at all because great, I guess it is more clearer. Okay, I want another slicers to choose the operating system, whether it is Android and iOS, and let me just make those KPIs here directly, and in that KPI card let me just make those KPI card directly. Okay, great, and let me just add the operating system feature here. Yes, operating system, Android or iOS, and again let me just not required slicer header, slicer setting to be something like a tile sign here. Okay, slicers are there, so we can just do an interactivity. Let me just take the Android here, and all those data is filtered according to the selections we have, so it will perfectly working fine. Let me just do one thing, let me just add some icons finally, right? So that we can be more, we can say, with respect to the theme perspective, right? It is a good. So let me just apply so before we're trying to do with respect to the icon we have, let me just add directly the theme. So go into the view, so there are some pre-built templates are there, so we can just add the pre-built template. So if I require something like this theme, and I just go with this theme directly, so this is the theme I required right now for my dashboard, which is appropriate for me to go with, right? So let me just add the icon, right? Finally, right, let me just add the icon so that I will be more communicative in terms of the dashboards I'm trying to build. So insert, and then image, let me just take a first image I have. Okay, just go here, assets, I already have that downloaded. I have one icon is there, let me just add those icon directly. So maybe your company logo should be there right now here, so I'm just going with this icon. Okay, great, and make it more center and more aligned with the visuals we have. Clear? So this is the first icon we have into the dashboard, and let me just add another icon. Let me just add another icon where we hold our company's, we can say, website, if you have any, right? Where we can just add those things, and let me just make it more appealing, and I guess it is fitted inside the thing. Let me just make it more here. Great, and let's just do a final icon, right? Let's just take a final icon here. Let me just make it more. Okay, let me just add a final icon to filter the things out. This is the filter icon I have, right? To filter the visuals according to the need we have, right? Let me just make it more thing here. Great, I guess it is in the center. Okay, so I have added the icons. So these are all the things we have for creating the report we have, so we can just get inside the whatever the insights we are trying to get. Again, a final stage kicks in where I wanted to just get some of the filter state. So let me just add one filter state where I have to analyze some aspects. Okay, let me just analyze first some aspects of my report. Let's just say I wanted to analyze for the males and Android users how much the analysis I am getting right now. Okay, so this filter state I wanted to just store. So this is the state I wanted to store. Then we can utilize the bookmarks. So go into the bookmarks and we can just add the filter state. This is the filter state. Okay, this is the filter state I have right now. Clear. So we can assign this filter state to this icon right now directly. So select the icon, right, and let's just go into the home and format, right, select the icon, then enable the actions and go here and just take the bookmarks, and let's just take a bookmarks to something like a filter states, and the work is done. Okay, again I wanted to go back to the desired state, right, let's just remove all the filter. So this is the default view. I want this to be stored, right, so that we can navigate, right, we can navigate. So and we can add another icons or whatever the buttons you want, right. Let me just do one thing. Let me just add the button so that yeah, so here we can take and we will add one button, right. Also we will add some button, right. Let me just add those button directly. So button is there and we can just take the button here directly. Okay, this is the button I required and that should be the enough. Okay, this is the button I required, in which we can just do back and forth from the filter to this stage. Great. Okay, let me just do one thing. Let me just add those state here directly. Okay, this is the state I wanted to capture. Go into the bookmark again and let's just add the bookmark. This state will be captured. Let's just double click over it, and this is the default state we have, right. This is the default state. Press enter. Again select the icon, go into the format, enable the actions and assign the created bookmark, and we can perform the navigation. If I wanted to do that filter state, press Ctrl and press the icon, it will be in the filter. Press Ctrl back, I'm getting into that state only. So this is how we can just create the dynamic reports and we can just utilize the stuff and to communicate the insights. So the final stage is we have to just publish those reports into the Power BI service. Let's just do that quickly. Okay, so here in the home tab I have a publish is there, right. So if I have that premium capacities, then you can publish those things into the Power BI service directly. Let me just publish those things. Let's just first save all these things right now, and we will publish those things into the Power BI service. Okay, so my workspace is the default workspace we have. Let me just select the my workspace and let me just publish those things into the Power BI service for sharing and collaborations, right. For sharing and collaboration I wanted to do this kind of thing. Let me just, so it is successfully published. Let's just go into that, clicking over the link. Let me authenticate myself and let's just try to get around whatever the visualizations or report we are trying to build here. Okay, so this is the report would look like. So we can just do all the other kind of stuffs, right. I wanted to build the report, then dashboard, we can do that as well. We have a filter report is there. We have to go back to the report and we do all this kind of stuff here directly. So this is the thing we have. This is we are trying to achieve, right. And this is how we can just communicate the insights with whatever the data we have, and we will take a data driven decision. So try to replicate this project in your system. Try to add more stuff if you have any, right. Customize the dashboard and you will get the much better understanding of how the thing will work. So that's it for the session, guys, and we will meet the next session with the other projects. Till then, have a nice day.